Hey guys, my good friend Julia Lovett has challenged me to read a book to you while you're out of school, and I'd love to. So, without further ado, how about we get into that book? Here we go. So, the book I've chosen today is How Deep is the Sea by Anna Milbourne and Serena Riglietti, narrated by me, Jeremy Norman. How deep is the sea? Pipkin was a very small penguin who was always asking very big questions. How big was a dinosaur? Does chocolate grow on trees? What makes snow fall from the sky? But the thing he wanted to know most of all was how deep is the sea? Penguins are really good swimmers, his mama said. Why don't you go and have a look? Pipkin took a very deep breath and dived into the sea. He swam down a little way into the sparkling blue and found a seal catching silver fish. "Excuse me," said Pipkin. "How deep is the sea?" "Deep enough to hold more fish than I could ever eat," said the seal. "Would you like to stay for lunch?" "Sorry, I can't stop now," said Pipkin. "I'm off to find the bottom of the sea." He swam down a little further into the deepening blue and found the biggest creature he'd ever seen, singing a rumbly song. "Excuse me," said Pipkin, "how deep is the sea?" "Deeper than a big blue whale like me has ever been," said the creature. "Would you like to stay and sing my big blue whale friends across the sea?" "Sorry, I can't stop now," said Pipkin. "I'm off to find the bottom of the sea." Pipkin swam down a little further into the darkening blue and found a salty dog in a yellow submarine. "Excuse me," said Pipkin, "how deep is the sea?" "Deep enough to need a submarine to reach the very bottom," said the salty dog. "I'm going there now. Would you like to join me?" "Yes, please," said Pipkin. The submarine took them down and down and down to where the sea turned night black and where there was no one else around. Then, one by one, twinkling lights began to appear. All kinds of wonderful, lit-up creatures were swimming around the dark. "Excuse me," said Pipkin, "how deep is the sea?" "Deep enough to have the whole mountains at the bottom," said one of the twinkly creatures. "Look." And sure enough, just below was a range of towering mountains. "Is this the very deepest part?" asked Pipkin. "Not quite," said the twinkly creature, and it pointed to a valley. "Down there is the very deepest part of the sea." So the yellow submarine took them down into the valley. It was very deep and very dark and very, very quiet. Flump went the submarine as it landed on the bottom. I wonder whether anything lives all the way down here, whispered Pipkin. They peered into the darkness, but nothing came to say hello. So they sat for a while at the bottom of the sea with miles and miles of water above them. "Ready to go home?" asked the salty sea dog. "Yes, please," said Pipkin. The yellow submarine took them all the way back up to the top of the sea. Pipkin said to his mama, "The sea is very, very deep. It's deep enough to hold more fish than a seal can ever eat, and deeper than a big blue whale has ever seen or ever been, and deep enough to have the whole mountains at the bottom, and lots of twinkly creatures hardly anyone's ever seen. And it's deep enough for very small penguins to have very big adventures," said his mama, as she rubbed him dry. "Come this way to see how deep Pipkin went." Let's find out. How deep the sea actually is. So we want to know how deep the sea is. Well, Pipkin swam down, past the seal catching silverfish, past the blue whale singing a rumbly song, down to where he met the salty sea dog in the yellow submarine, and down and down and down to where lit up creatures were swimming in the dark, and down to the towering mountains, and down into the deep valley, all the way down to the bottom of the deepest part of the sea. And down here, there might be lots of creatures living, but that nobody has ever even seen. And apart from Pipkin and the salty sea dog, only 2 people have ever been all the way down here. Jacques Picard and Don Walsh went in a submarine rather similar to this one, 7 miles below the sea. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed my story. I'm also going to challenge 2 other people to read to you guys. That would be my wife, Dorothy Norman, and also a great friend of mine, Leanne Ayers. You have been nominated and challenged to read a book while the kids are out of school. Thanks. See you again.